from the age of 3 onwards, I knew that there was something different about me, in that I wanted not to be the boy that I appeared to be. I remember very clearly standing on the doorstep of my parents' shop in a dress, because I was playing dressing up games with my sister. As a teenager, the anger I felt towards myself meant that I could only exist in the eyes of other people. I couldn't exist in my own eyes because of that anger, that frustration. People laugh at men dressed as women. I couldn't cope with people laughing at me. My reaction as a teenager, if somebody laughed at me, for whatever reason, was to hit them. It was an attempt to try to understand what that difference was and to accommodate it to fit in with other people. And frankly, I failed.
There's about 22 in here and 22 in the other one. This diabetes was actually induced by the HIV, which I wasn't very happy about. I have a lot of pain from the diabetes in the form of peripheral neuropathy, and the HIV also generates peripheral neuropathy, and it's so painful that the painkillers I have been taking were ineffective, so I now have to wear this, which is a morphine patch. In my legs, mainly at night, and during the day, it feels like I've plugged them into the electric. It's just shooting pains that are, well, as I say, like sticking your fingers in the light socket. If anyone's done that, I have. I experimented with that when I was 6. So there we are, the new patch is on. And it'll take about 20 minutes to start working. I haven't got any pain yet, but I'm a little bit shaky and things like that.
Do you wish you had any more pain relief?
I wish I would have none.
No.
I wish I had no pain. I wish I had no illnesses. So it made my life stop at 42.
It's a whole lot of things, femininity. It's the way you talk. Women use different words than a guy would use. And modulation of the voice. There's also your stance. You know, guys have a particular stance. But just having your body changed, and growing boobs and stuff, doesn't make you a woman. It's a whole lot of things. There's certain nuances to being a woman. But I knew when I wanted to be. I knew I definitely when I was a female. It was 1961, so I'd have been 9. Because I was born in 52. I saw an article about a woman by the name of April Ashley. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she was a model for Chanel. She'd been born in Liverpool as a guy, and a male name was George. And my reading wasn't very good, I've got to be honest. I had a lot more important things to play with. And I sat and read it. It took me ages. And every time my dad come anywhere near her, I'd have to turn the pages over because I didn't want him to see me. But I knew after that, one day in my life, I'd actually be who I was going to be. I didn't have a full inversion. I had what they call cosmetic vagina. They still do the same treatment. The penis is still stripped. A piece of the gland is used to create a clitoris, so I've got a clitoris. but I don't. They use the rest of the skin to form the outside of the vagina, so it's a prettier vagina than anything, more than anything else. It was really, really good, and it makes you you. And that's a bit about being female, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, I was completely different.
You looked different, didn't you? You had a goatee as well.
Yeah, I had a goatee beard to try and hide this, the lack of fat. I was only 10 stone 4. I'm now 15'10". That's black.
Good, that's Blackpool.
That's good Blackpool food for you, that is.
I thought, it's only a surface thing, isn't it? It's the same person.
Yeah, I mean, I was really glad for someone to accept me, even though I had changed facially. The only time I look in a mirror is when I shave. The only time. The big wardrobe with mirror doors in the bedroom. I look down, I look to the side, I will not look at my body now. It's to me, it's gross. When he's on shifts, he's not always by the side of me in bed. And when he's not in bed, I find it very difficult to sleep because I want that person next to me. They're for no cuddles or things like that. Just being there,
My vicar of the church youth club that I was a member of came round to the house completely by accident to try to see my mum, who wasn't in. He was going to drop something off. And he knocked on the door and I let him in and I explained what had been going on. He then arranged for me to see a psychiatrist. It was tearful, of course it was tearful. He had known me for many years. I'd been in the church choir, I'd helped set up the youth club. Effectively, he saved my life because suicide was very high on my agenda at the time. I did go to see a GP. That was after I'd spoken to my vicar because having plucked up enough courage to tell him as best as I could what I thought the issues were and that I wanted to be cured. I went to my GP who told me to pull myself together and stop upsetting my mum. End of conversation.
Yeah. Tilly? Tilly? Come on, sweetheart. Come on. I was trying to teach her to come on the lead like a dog, but she won't have it. I've even gone down, put the line of treats down for her, but she's never worked on it. She's cottoned on to it. So. When I look back, I had a lot of happy times. I had a lot of happy memories from here because my cousins live next door to me in number 5. My uncle used to live in that first house. But when I think back to my childhood, things could have been different. I'd have been born now, it might have been easier for me to have me change earlier on. If in fact I wasn't born a girl, which I should have been. It's just me. And it's really sad, really. I'd love my daughter to speak to me, to come and see me, but it's a long way off yet. Well, I've got Richard to come back to me, that's about it now. But I still got my brother, my sister. I've got no aunties and uncles anymore because they've all passed away. It's just sad. I've got nobody. I sit in the house sometimes and just wish I'd die. I've got to stages like that. When you've got things worrying you and you just just builds up, and you need somebody. And I'm one of these people that I like to have company. I can't stand being on my own, to be honest. And that's why I got the 2 girls and the 2 cats. So I can talk to them and they don't answer back, but they're there for me. And it's not having that family, you know. It's just cut off. I've got nobody. You know. It's life. I've got to get on with it. I'm not going to do anything stupid now. It's not worth it.
Well, I was taken into hospital because I collapsed at home, and blood tests were taken. I was put in a side ward because I wasn't expected to live that night, but I did. I survived. And then the question of it was the symptoms were of HIV. I didn't know that. I thought I had lung cancer. So the health advisor came in and we discussed what would happen when he brought the results in. I said, well, please, when you enter the ward, if you're smiling, I'm HIV negative. And if you just come in with a normal face, I'm HIV positive. So I prepared my mind before we spoke about it. I had my partner at the time with me, and this guy came in and smiling, beaming all over his face at everybody. And then he told me I was HIV positive. So I had 2 contradictory signs. Right? I thought, right, this is a death warrant.
Mum passed away fairly first, and that was in 72. She died so young as well. She was only just turning 50 when she passed away. So, and I was 16, and I wasn't allowed to cry at the funeral. I wasn't even allowed to cry after the funeral at home. I did in my bedroom, but I could never do it in public because boys don't cry, do they? I never really got over it, and I think to a degree I hated my dad for that. Knowing now what my cousin Elsie said when I went to see her, and she said my mum would have flung her arms around me and give me a big hug and a kiss. And I actually burst out into tears when she told me that. But I think she would have. She wouldn't have understood what I was doing, but she would still have loved me. She wouldn't have turned me away, and I think she'd been okay. It makes me think about my past a little bit, but how different it would be had it been me from the very beginning, you know, the little girl that I should have been.
What these psychiatrists at Blackburn recommended was called electroaversion therapy. Going into a darkened room where there was a large projector, what's called an epidiascope. I sat down in a wooden chair. They strapped my arms to each arm of the chair. The arm had to be bared. Using the projector, projected pictures of female clothing onto a wall. Flicked through the various items, and then they pulled the switch, which produced an electric current, which caused pain. The rationale was that the behaviour that I was indulging in, the thoughts that I was having, would be associated with pain rather than pleasure, and that would stop me doing or wanting to do what I was doing. The effects, as well as causing me acute pain at the time and tears and an emphasis that it was wrong and I had to be punished for who I was. I was desperate. I don't know if I must have trusted them. They were professionals. I was a young kid. I was 17 years old. I was totally screwed up. I had no idea what was going on in my head. I had no idea that anybody else in the world felt as I did. I desperately wanted to be cured. I wanted to be like all the other people in the world, is how I saw it. There isn't a cure. You accommodate the way you feel. And I had a choice of being miserable or killing myself, or choosing to live in a gender role which I felt more comfortable in. And that's the choice that I took.